Hey all, hey y'all. My name is Ashley-Nicole Phillips, and you are tuned into Kingdom Things Podcast with me, Ashley-Nicole Phillips. I am the biblically prophesied Messiah, the Jewish culture widely awaited Mashiach, the Hindu culture prophesied Kalki, full circle moment, alert, so are you. Why Ashley? What I have in me, you have in you. What you have in you, I have in me. We are all authentic frequencies, dimensions of infinite potentials. Allah, Hashem, Shekinah, the Most High, divine creation, infinite creation, prime source, having a human experience in order to assist with the growth and evolution of all things. Within the podcast, Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips, through many different formats. I use my shaman mama capabilities, my psychic abilities, my mediumship abilities, my channeling abilities, my multidimensionality to channel healing energies and wisdoms into the podcast again in many formats to assist as we awaken in the masses, however your awakening looks like, however your process of coming on to journeying the evolution of the remembrance that you are more, that you are limitless, however your seeking journey is, it's all welcome within Kingdom Things Podcast. Whatever resonates with your heart space, you're more than welcome to use Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips, healing wisdoms and frequencies to assist you along your path of aligning to your most abundant, highest vibrational timeline outcome of your existence as universally aligned, universally assigned, but the upliftment and regeneration of all things, and so it shall be. Amen. Shalom. Inshallah. Bismillah. Namaste. Shay. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. You are tuned into the Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips meetups. Within the meetups, I transcendentally channel our ancestral forces or other dimensions of the self or other dimensions of other mirrors of limitless potentials. They come through to me or sent through to me. We connect in the spirit as all things truly are spirit. We are connected to heal and grow and evolve human culture, galactic culture, to assist with the upliftment galactic beingness culture, I'm salivating and things, I'm excited. Ancestral forces, we are connected, we come together within spirit, all things truly are spirit, to assist with the upliftment of human culture, simultaneous galactic beingness culture, simultaneously to assist with the upliftment and regeneration of all things. Which brings me to the Kingdom Things Podcast, Human Dharmic Purpose. Y'all, it's biblically prophesied. It's biblically prophesied. Baby, let me slow down. It's biblically prophesied. I channeled through my heart space. We were created to be the remembrance that we are limitless potentials. We are created to be the remembrance that we are one with all things simultaneously. We are all things. We were created to be the mastery, stark mastery of limitless potentials, yin yang, dark light, balance, unconditional love, or masters of the universal law of correspondence, as below, so above. Everything in my reality is a mirror of the energies in which I am. Journeying our realities with an inquisitive disposition, asking ourselves, hey self, this is my reality. What is it supposed to teach me about myself? Because I know my reality is only a projection of the mirrors, only a projection of the energies in which I am, which we understand these energetic dynamics through our sciences such as quantum mechanics, quantum physics, principle of correspondence, universal law of correspondence, as below, so above. Everything in my reality is only a projection of the energies in which I am. Self, universe, God, the Most High, Allah, however you term the supreme power. What is it supposed to teach me about myself? As we are inside of an experience within God's creation, an experience within the galactic sector of God's creation. I channeled in the Kingdom Things Podcast installment titled Humans Ashamed of Being Human, plus the galactic creation that the galactic creation is an iota, a minute aspect of God's creation. What does that mean? That means God's creation is limitless. And as limitless as galactic creation is simultaneously, the limitless nature of galactic creation is only a sliver of the limitless potentials that is all things. I'm going to link the Kingdom Things Podcast installment, Humans Ashamed of Being Human, plus galactic creation below, where I channeled this beautiful information, these wisdoms. Again, take whatever resonates with your heart space, leave whatever it doesn't. We are created to be the remembrance that we are all things, to journey our reality with the inquisitive disposition to learn about ourselves through how we experience reality, and to be proactive. Which brings me to the Kingdom Things podcast call to action. Sit with yourself at least 1 hour a day, every day. Ask yourself, hey soul, hey soul, what do I need to know in this moment to become more consciously aware, consciously aligned, and consciously embody more, and as well as to consciously embody more of my limitless potentials? Wait for the answers because they will show up. I channel from the heart space, Frequential Patterning Part 1. Which, by the way, this is the second part of, this is a to be continued Kingdom Things podcast installment. I'll put that in the title because I forgot to say at the very beginning. We're 5 minutes in. This is a to be continued installment of Kingdom Things podcast meetup. Last week's meetup. This is a to be continued of last week's published meetup. I'll put that in the title. Where was I at? Let me get back on topic. Kingdom Things podcast, call to action. Sit with yourself for at least 1 hour a day, every day. Ask yourself, hey soul, hey self, what is it that I need to know to become more consciously aware, consciously embody more of my limitless potentials? Wait for the answers because they will show up. I channeled within the Kingdom Things podcast installment titled Frequential Patterning Part 1. It will be in the reference content below. That we were, there are infinite dimensions in God's creation to perceive. And there are an infinite number of ways to perceive the infinite dimensions in God's creation. What does this mean, Ashley? That means the way that you perceive reality is most likely is unique to yourself. This doesn't make it any less valuable. It doesn't make the way you perceive and interact and be within reality, your relationship with reality or the oneness of all things or yourself, any less valid. Our senses such as touch, taste, smelling, hearing, smelling, our senses, seeing, our senses which are quantifiable, that we can grasp, that we could grasp in our previous state of evolution, consciousness evolution as a human culture, planet Earth. We have stepped into, we are continuing to grow and evolve into a widened consciousness, expanded consciousness civilization within galactic creation, within the oneness of all things. So we're coming online to our extrasensory perception. We're coming online to our psychic abilities. We're coming online to our multidimensionality. Validate yourself in however your lingo with the universe or yourself or the oneness of all things is. Also, do not replace anything you experience or hear within Kingdom Things podcast with your professional medical advice. And do not be afraid to reach out to any extended help that you may need along your journey of remembering that you are limitless, that you are infinite. Let's go ahead and roll into the Kingdom Things podcast 2033 prophecy. The oneness of all things, the Most High channel for my soul space, Hashem Shekinah. The Most High channel for my soul space says by the year 2033, we will be a human culture of planet Earth with no death, no disease, no war, no famine, no peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking. As death, disease, war, famine, pedophilia, human trafficking, sex trafficking, war, famine, human trafficking, sex trafficking, pedophilia, we're all a part of the makings of us. This is hard to hear, and I'm actually going to soon enough publish a channeling. I've already done much healing on, give me 1 second, y'all. I've done much healing through my inner space of my inner environment, which is one with all things, channel with all things. Why? Because the principle of correspondence, as below, so above. I've done much healing within my inner space to get to the root of humanism, to get to roots, not the root, because there are infinite roots, to get to the roots of the evolution of humanism, to get to the roots of the evolution of galactic creation, in order to assist with uplifting and awakening our consciousness, to assist with uplifting and awakening our consciousness as human beings of planet Earth, as divine creation in evolution, as infinite potentials in evolution, as divine energies in evolution. Pedophilia is a creation that we can allow ourselves to continue to perceive as a stain on our evolution. Sex trafficking, human trafficking are things, are energies, are manifestations that we can allow ourselves to continue to perceive as a stain on our human evolution. Or we can dive deeper within ourselves to be frequencies of remedy, to permeate, emanate into reality, to allow for the upliftment of the energies that manifested sex trafficking, human trafficking, pedophilia, as well as poverty, famine, disease, war, chaos, poverty. I've done much work in my inner space to allow myself to be remedy energies, to be embodiments of remedy energies, to channel remedy energies, to uplift our human consciousness, to uplift our human culture, to uplift our human nature, to assist with the upliftment and regeneration of all divine creation. As biblically prophesied, we are created to be an uplifting force in all of God's creation, masters of the remembrance that we co-create our realities with how we relate with ourselves, how we feel through our inner space to garner the wisdoms from our energies that we feel. I channeled with every sentience, every feeling, there are sentiments or wisdoms to garner. Again, however those wisdoms are revealed to you, allow yourself to own and speak the wisdoms so as they feel in your heart so as you feel in your heart that they are right for your path to be an enlightening, uplifting force for human culture, yourself, all things. So it shall be. Frequential patterning part 1 is, as well as frequential patterning part 2, there are 2 episodes, are linked below in the Kingdom Things podcast reference suggested content. I'm also going to link below many transmissions that I've done in regards to healing, relieving pedophilia and other imbalances, stark imbalances that are hard to face, that are hard to own. God said in order to heal it, you got to reveal it. In order to heal things, you have to reveal it. In order to rectify things, you have to face them. Everything in our reality is a manifestation of the evolution of our energy. And truly humanity, we are one energy that have been in this since the beginning of space and time. At the beginning of space and time, I channeled in plain sight. I'll link the installment below. At the beginning of space and time, there were 6 spheres of creation. I channeled 6. I believe Judaism and other religions have different numbers, like 7 spheres of creation. The divine, my internal guidance said, hey, Ashley, don't worry about that. Just don't focus on the semantics. Focus on more of what the remembrance, that there are spheres of creation that came together to co-create the energy in which you are made of. At the beginning of space and time, 6 spheres of creation came together to create a more omnipotent, benevolent, limitless, well-balanced, potential force energy. We would know these energies as God energy. What happened when these six spheres of creation came together, the accumulation, summation of the 6 spheres coming together created an imbalanced energy, a chaotic energy. This is where time and space ensued. This is where the galactic creation ensues simultaneously, synonymously. Why? Whenever creation needs something to continue to grow and evolve, it naturally produces it. Time and space, galactic creation, we are beings that manifested, were created or originated within galactic creation. We came into creation to balance these 6 spheres of creation, to assist with the balancing of the accumulation of these 6 spheres of creation. So we've been in this thing. We are energies that have been in this thing since the beginning of space and time, truly humanity. And we've done it as humans of planet Earth, awakening in the masses to be a regenerative, uplifting force within creation, allows us to own, command the fact that we are a part of a balanced, omnipotent creation, creator God energy. I'm going to link below Lyran Kingdom Resurrect, where I channeled ancestral forces, the Lyrans, as well as the predecessors, parent, mother, father, mother energies of the Lyrans, father, mother beings of the Lyrans that share beautiful information in regards to our galactic heritage, our galactic history. Again, take whatever resonates with your heart space, leave what does not. Lyron's Resurrect is linked below within the Kingdom Things podcast, reference suggested content. We've been in this thing for a long time, since the beginning of space and time, and these energies that manifested pedophilia, death, disease, war, sex trafficking, human trafficking, famine, poverty, are diseases that have been in galactic creation since the beginning of space and time. These are many cultural practices that have been within galactic creation for eons, trillions of years, as we would perceive it. And the divine says no more. The divine says no more. The God energies they have the ruling vote, supersede the wisdom or evolution or potentials of even our bubble of creation. I'm going to link below ways of creation, as well as the continuation of ways of creation. These are Kingdom Things podcast installments, where I speak about the ways of creation beyond our synaptical understanding that we held before. Now they have been revealed. These wisdoms have been revealed to us by myself and other channelers. This wisdom is coming to the forefront, to our to our pop culture, to our mainstream media, because we are remembering and we are ready to be remembered. As remembering and remembered is just the disposition to understand that we exist infinitely, to grow and evolve into more wellness and balance. That we are limitless. We exist infinitely to grow and evolve into more wellness and balance. Remembered. Ways of creation, as well as the follow-up to ways of creation, are linked below. Kingdom Things podcast reference content. We've been in this thing for a long time, and these things, we used to perceive them as stains in our culture, are energies that are trillions, eons old. These manifestations of our culture that we used to perceive as stains on our culture are energies that are eons old, that are begging to be met, that are ready to be met, to garner the wisdoms or the magic or the limitless potentials from embodying the wisdoms that are the energies, the dark energies that manifested things like human trafficking, sex trafficking, pedophilia, death, disease, war, poverty, famine. Our magic or our limitless potentials, our God presence, goddess presence, essence has always been hidden within the darkness. Or yin energy, yin-yang balance energy, or spaces and places that we had to be brave to visit, that we had to embody courage to visit. Why? Because these potentials are not child's play. These limitless energies, these limitless forces that we are not child's play. They can create universes, and I'm not going to speak the opposite. They can create more universes. They can create universes, as well as they can destroy universes, these potentials that we are and are true. The divine said, baby, the universal force itself says, speak the truth. Our limitless potentials, our divine embodiments, our power, our internal power that lies within us, we're hidden in the darkness, or within paradigms, underneath paradigms of stark, we would perceive them as stark stains on our human culture, because they're not child's play. You have to be courageous. You have to be brave, brazen, to face yourself in spaces and places that we once would just ignore and carry on. I'm going to link below Satan's Kids. It's a Kingdom Things podcast installment intended to uplift the human consciousness. I did channel Baphomet. Baphomet has many dimensions. You could perceive Baphomet as a demonic force. You could perceive, we would have in the past perceived, you could perceive Baphomet as a demonic force, or you can have the perception, his polar aspect, a universal harmonizing force. I've channeled both perspectives. I'm going to link Satan's Kids below. It's a consciousness healing transmission, Kingdom Things podcast. Again, whatever resonates with your heart space, you're more than welcome to utilize these informations and wisdoms on your own journey of upliftment. And I'm also going to channel universal. And then I believe the installment is the counterpart polarizing perspective of Baphomet, or instead of chaos causing energies, we would know chaos causing is Satan. The counterpart, or the opposite, the polarizing perspective, dualistic perspective, would be a harmonizing force. I channel both perspectives. And then the universes, we're in harmony. It's something like that. I'll link the other perspective below that. This King of Things podcast installment below as well. Yeah, y'all, I have to face myself to garner these wisdoms. Baby, if you listen, King of Things podcast is a timeless catalog. But I'm not going to sit here like I'm just stone cold, brazen brave, and that's all I feel. I feel fear. I feel sadness. I feel anger at times. I feel all of these things. And I've been really tutored and uplifted by my soul space, the oneness of all things, my ancestral forces, loved on, my soul, loved on, my soul's history, because the divine's like, Ashley, tell people why you have this position, why you are who you are, because of my soul's history. You are who you are, and whoever your soul is telling you are, your heart space is telling you who you are. Whatever your heart space, your soul is telling you, as far as who you are, that's because of your soul's history, your evolution. Ashley, why are you doing all this? Like what gives you the right to tell us who we are? My soul's history. And I'm not telling you who you are. I'm sharing my wisdoms. You get to align with what resonates with your heart space. It's intended to activate your soul into remembrance that you're limitless. It's intended to activate your heart space, your mind, body, soul, spirit into the remembrance that you are limitless potentials, that you are an uplifting, healing, regenerative force, that you don't have to experience death, disease, war, famine, poverty, or you don't have to look into a reality that has pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking. You can drop into your heart space and remember who you are, and command wellness over yourself, your reality, and all things. That's the intentions of King of Things podcast, as well as myself and the ancestral forces that move through me, to me, as me, to produce King of Things podcast. And then the universes were harmonized. These installments are linked below. So we've been in this thing for a long time. And then the other installment that I did, I channeled Archangel Michael Katumi, as well as this. I channeled Archangel Michael and Katumi in one specific channeling, one specific King of Things podcast installment. And then I channeled Archangel Michael Katumi, as well as Holy Roman Emperor. In a more recent installment. And baby, we got the divine revelation that God's not galactic. God was speaking to all the galactic creation. God's like, we're not dealing with this type of stuff in galactic creation: pedophilia, human trafficking, sex trafficking, these dark, stringent paradigms of imbalance. The divine creator God's energies came in, penetrating galactic creation, and said, hey, we cleaning this up. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. But we uplifting all of this to assist with uplifting all of God's creation. I'll link these two King of Things podcast installments below. The King of Things podcast installment with the Holy Roman Emperor. It's titled The Army. That's the one about the divine not tolerating pedophilia and other stark paradigms of imbalance in God's creation anymore. To align with the regeneration of all things that's happening right now, and infinite creation of God's creation. And then there's the other installment with Archangel Michael and Katumi, where Archangel Michael and Katumi give great, one more second, y'all. Archangel Michael and Katumi give great wisdoms and words in regards to what's happening right now. Us becoming more sentient, more infinite, more consciously aware of our multidimensionality. Again, don't replace anything you experience or hear within King of Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips with your professional medical advice. Woo, y'all. So there's that. So no more pedophilia. There is an installment that's soon to come in a few months. It's super revealing. Super duper revealing as to, because I've been healing, and you can drop below in the description and actually watch all of the transmissions, healing energies going towards pedophilia, and the whole catalog is healing energies towards many paradigms in our creation. King of Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. I also have another channel, Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment, which is available to stream for free on YouTube. It's linked below in the description of this video. We do powwow sessions. Powwow sessions is where I call powwow sessions whenever I calm my inner space with my spirit, or the oneness of all things, soul, mind, body, soul, spirit. I call my mind, body, soul, spirit with the spirit, the mind, body, soul, spirit of the Most High, of the oneness of all things, to uplift limiting beliefs, limiting paradigms within within creation, in order to help balance out, make wellness of our beingness. So I've been healing a lot for over many years, as I've been dedicated to healing my inner space, to be able to garner the wisdoms, receive the divine revelations, to share the healing remedies, words, energies within the podcast. There's many podcasts below in regards to healing and uplifting, eradicating the paradigm of pedophilia. In a few months, we're going to get an installment. It's really, because what happens, is like reality, the Fibonacci sequence, reality is an ever-growing, infinite growing spiral. You can be in evolution or de-evolution. I learned, and I'm going to link this installment below, Anatolia Teachings. I learned whether you would perceive yourself as evolving or de-evolving, there's always wisdoms to garner from our evolution. And focusing on these wisdoms, how we feel, deep diving into our feelings to garner the wisdoms, is what gives you progress. It's what gives you growth. It's what gives you manifestations of what you want to experience. It gives you embodiments of the person you want to be, right? Anatolia Teachings, link below. Life is a Fibonacci sequence, or ever growing, ever coming, ever going full circle moments, right? It can feel monotonous. Like, dang, I'm facing this again. We healing this up again. I used to have we would perceive it as a negative disposition when it came to meeting these energies within myself over and over again. But now I'll have more of a positive, I'll lean into more of a positive or an uplifting, optimistic disposition when it comes to facing myself or these self. We are one on all things. Say that to say, in a few months, there will be a Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips meetup transmission in regards to the operatives, or the curse or the spell or the treaty that was casted over the human consciousness. I don't know who the treaty was between, baby. It's a bunch of star beings, galactic beings. A few star beings, galactic beings, and things. Spiritual entities. There was operatives cast, curse treaties casted over the human consciousness energetically in the masses, to keep us offline, out of alignment, dissonant to the vibrations of our limitless potentials. Why? Because what? A higher perspective, I know whenever creation needs something to continue to grow and evolve, it produces it. The divine says, everything y'all experience, I intended it. It was your gestational phase to prepare you for being bipedal men. Limitless potentials, dualistic perception with limitless potentials. What the divine wants to see, what do we create? Being a being, bipedal being with dueling forces or dualistic forces. God said, I created dualistic forces to be harmonizing forces. Creation creates. So this has been in the making. And you'll be able to perceive that there's a few installments I've done, and I'll link them below. The birth, the fulfillment of the bipedal man. This has been a pursuit by the divine. We know that through our biblical text, it's been a pursuit by the divine to be in the limitless potentials and the tangible, to be a mirror of divine presence, so God can see itself in the physical in infinite ways, as every human being is a manifestation of the divine. Limitless potentials. I'll link all of the bipedal man installments that I've channeled the Kingdom Things channel within the Kingdom Things podcast content. The journey of manifesting limitless potentials in the tangible through the bipedal man. We have dualistic, we have left and right. So we have our bodies, our beingness left and right, our lobes left and right. So we are a dualistic force in and of ourselves, meaning we are the spectrum of wholeness, oneness that make decisions. Am I going to go left or am I going to right? Do I want hot tea today, or do I want cold tea today? Do I want to assist with uplifting this galaxy? Or is my soul telling me something else? about something else. Our powers are infinite. And everything we experience was a part of a gestational phase to ease us into being limitless potentials and intangible co-creator beings that get to use our reasoning or the way we show up in life and our belief systems to co-create existence. The reference Kingdom Things podcast content is linked below in the description of this video, whether you're watching on YouTube or Spotify. Follow if you're watching on Spotify. Share the content to help proliferate the Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. Journey to a healed and balanced human culture of planet Earth. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Like if you're watching on YouTube. Share if you're watching on YouTube to help proliferate the Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. Journey to a healed and balanced human culture of planet Earth. I just hear energies, baby. I can perceive in the future, like Ashley, the operative, the curse, you're gonna get back to that. It's gonna be in a few months. It's gonna be in a few months, and I'll post it YouTube community board as well as on all the Kingdom Things podcast social. Follow at Kingdom Things podcast on YouTube, at Kingdom Things podcast on Facebook, at Kingdom Things podcast on TikTok, at Kingdom Things podcast on Instagram, at Kingdom_Things podcast on X to keep up to date with any special announcements when it comes to the installments, because I'll do a special announcement about this transmission. There was a cursed spell casted over the human consciousness to keep us asleep to our limitless potentials, to our ability to create how we show up, manifest how we show up, and in turn co-create our reality in a huge quantum, we would know that's quantum way, right? To shift reality in a quantum way through our energetic embodiment and the way we use our thought patterns. There was a veil we would know it's a veil casted over the human consciousness so that we couldn't perceive ourselves in this way. We perceived ourselves like playing like Sims characters, playing the game of life, where our pinnacle peak of existence was financial, pecuniary success, building our families, our homes. There's nothing wrong with this, but we're on another level, baby. We've been activated and we're being activated in the masses onto another level where we remember we're co-creator universal gods. And a part of the Kingdom Things podcast 2033 prophecy is being an interplanetary species within the galactic creation, baby. That's creator God things. Okay, that's Kingdom Things, creator God things. Part of being up-leveled in my music, I like to channel it. I like to say getting our divine manuscripts in reality, no longer going in the same karmic cycles and saying the same things and living the same mundane life, not knowing that we're living the same life time and time again, thinking being reset after we die and we return. We don't know that we're living the same life over and over again, or we're living the same way our grandmama did, our great-grandma did, our great-great-great-grandmama did, because we were asleep to the remembrance. We're becoming more sentient, awakened. The veil has been removed, is being removed. It's a slow process. The divine doesn't want to just throw us out into the galaxy all willy-nilly. It's a slow process. We're being awakened and acclimated slowly to the remembrance, because we know how to be a divine being. We know how to be a galactic being. We know how to be a universal creator God, because that's what we are. Those are the energies in which we are. We are our ancestors. We are our future embodiments of self. We're our ancestral lineage, past, present, future. The transmission about the veil being casted over the human consciousness due to an actual tangible world operation. Spirit and tangible world operations will be delved into at a later in a few months at the top of 2026. This installment will come at the top of 2026. At the top of 2026. I'll do the announcement on the Kingdom Things podcast channel, social media channels, so that you are aware that it is coming when it comes. So follow Kingdom Things podcast on the social channels. Whew. All right, y'all. This is a continuation to last week's installment. Powerful healing, baby, last week. And I thought I was just going to take a beat, but my soul said, Ashley, we're going to pick this installment up tomorrow. So it's a 2-part series. And we're 34 minutes in. We already got a lot of great wisdom channeled. Divine revelations, prophecies, which brings me to one more prophecy before we channel the ancestral force, George Washington Carver. The Kingdom Things podcast, Kardashian scale prophecy. The divine says 0 to 50 years. We need a type 1, type 2, type 3 human being of planet Earth. This ascension cycle, because reality is multiple dimensions, multiple parallel parallel universes. The divine says, the Most High says, the accumulation of all things says, the Galactic Federation confirmed it, verified it, validated, says that within 0 to 50 years, we need a type 1, type 2, type 3 human being of planet Earth, Kardashian scale prophecy. I'm gonna link my song below, Alive in Peace. That's where I channeled I channeled a lot of healing wisdoms, and I sang it like that. Type 1, type 2, type 3, Kardashian scale prophecy. It's actually like spoken word rap. Alive in Peace, Ashley-Nicole music. I'm also a singer-songwriter. My music is healing. Wisdom's in there. All the things help us through our journey of evolution to remembrance of our own authentic frequency from the inside, our own authentic embodiment on creation, the oneness of all things. Ashley-Nicole music is linked below. I hope you enjoy it. Kingdom Things podcast, type 1, type 2, type 3, Kardashian scale prophecy says that we will be type 1, type 2, type 3, Kardashian scale prophecy, civilization, galactic civilization within 0 to 50 years. The Most High says whenever creation needs something to continue to grow and evolve, it naturally produces it. A heightened civilization, a heightened conscious awareness, human being of planet Earth culture is needed for the evolution, the continuation of the evolution of limitless potentials or all things. Ashley, what is the Kardashian scale prophecy? If you didn't pause and go look for yourself, I will share. The Kardashian scale prophecy is a scale. Kardashian scale prophecy is a scale that was channeled and outlined by the astronomer Kardashian. And my soul space told me he channeled that because everything's truly a channel. We gave him these wisdoms to share with humanity for y'all's growth and evolution. That's why I say channel. The Kardashian scale prophecy was channeled by the astronomer Kardashian. It outlines the evolution of a galactic civilization based off of being able to measure the evolution of a galactic civilization based off of the amount of its own energy in which that galactic civilization is able to utilize towards its evolution and growth and wellness and balance. You're like, okay, I did pause it, Ashley, and all the scientists and things saying we are type 0, it's going to take some stuff. Well, we're awakening, so I'm going to speak wellness over our scientists now. Our scientists are remembering. Our reality is reflecting our remembrance. Let me speak wellness. Our scientists are remembering. Our reality is reflecting our remembrance. We've always been multidimensional beings. We've always been on a multidimensional planet. We've always been within an our simultaneously a symbiotic creation with a multidimensional realm. As we awaken and our consciousness expands to meet the Kingdom Things podcast 2033 prophecy, interplanetary colonization, Kardashian scale, type 1, type 2, type 3, human being of planet Earth, culture, civilization. It's a direct reflection of the expansion of our consciousness, or going within to meet ourselves in our inner space, to deep dive into our feelings or how our energies to uplift. We will call it ancestral patterns or our trauma, our wounds, facing our traumas, our wounds, our feelings, to garner the wisdoms from them, embody those wisdoms or limitless potentials to manifest an expanded consciousness, self, humanity, human culture, planet Earth, which will symbiotically reveal to us that we are multidimensional beings, a part of a multidimensional planet, multidimensional realm, multidimensional creation in which we are symbiotic with. Our growth and evolution is a direct reflection of the growth and evolution of what we experience, what we perceive in our reality. Just as our reality's growth and evolution, it has a direct effect on our growth and evolution and how we grow and evolve in our evolution as human beings of planet Earth. We will be a type 1, type 2, type 3 Kardashian scale colony within 0 to 50 years. I'm going to go ahead and sit back. And we're going to get into channeling the ancestral force, George Washington Carver. If you didn't watch last week's installment, I would definitely suggest you go back and do so. It's a lot of great wisdoms. I don't want to do a spoiler alert, baby. Just go back and watch it. We're going to go ahead and get into channeling George Washington Carver. I'll give a synopsis. Eradicating the disease of obstinance, the obstinance of self in which we don't allow ourselves to perceive our differences, our different races, nationalities, creeds, cultures, preferences, as mirrors or dimensions to show what we have inside of ourselves, to garner a deeper intimacy with ourselves. Even if we decide we don't want to take those dimensions on as our preferences or our belief systems, we understand that that's a part of me because it's in my reality. to garner deeper intimacy with ourselves. Hey, what is this supposed to teach me about myself? To be in oneness in our differences, to be in wellness and balance and divine futuristic evolution in our differences, and not war in our differences. Last week's installment. That's an abstract. That's an abstract synopsis of last week's installment. Maybe it's a lot of goodies. We channeled Marcus Garvey. We channeled Marcus Garvey. We channeled and I'm so grateful and excited to be relieved of the fear of sharing my shamanism skills and my ability to give voice to ancestors that are in other dimensions, transcendent dimensions of creation, that at this time in space and time we're growing into being able to co-create in a more open and conscious way with ancestors that we perceive as transcended or died. They really transcended to other dimensions of creation. I'm so grateful to no longer fear sharing this gift with the world of being able to give the ancestral forces a voice to speak through myself, the tabernacle that is myself. Last week we channeled Marcus Garvey, powerful. Okay. And the celestial ancestral forces were like, thank you, Ashley, for giving us a voice, for meeting yourself in spaces and places on the inside and accepting yourself and growing and evolving in the wisdom. So every time we're channeled, we don't just seem like robots. We don't just seem like we don't have sentience and sentiments, like we don't have preferences, that like we don't have culture, like we don't have color, like we don't have vibrance, like we don't have evolution or many dimensions to us. They're like, thank you for allowing us to speak through you in a way that we seem more human, in a way that we seem real, because you can perceive the makings of us in the way that you allow us to speak through you. You are welcome. You are welcome. So we channeled Marcus Garvey, powerful. Okay, we channeled we channeled a Afrocentric star race being collected, powerful. We channeled, I'm like trying to think. Let me just look back on my notes. We channeled Martin Luther King Jr. I channeled him before. I'll link the installment below. This is the second time I've channeled Martin Luther King Jr. within the podcast. Grateful. Yes, and I told many stories about my multidimensional experiences with many beings of creation that allow me to introspect and reflect within my inner space with the divine, with my soul's wisdoms and history, to receive divine revelations on what this is supposed to help unfold into creation, or what the divine intended to create through the way that I interpret reality, the way I interpret my relationship, or the way I relate with myself or all things. We are truly one. So receive divine revelations on what God intended to create within creation with the experiences of the evolution of galactic creation. Again, whatever resonates within your heart space, you're more than welcome to use it. Utilize it on your own journey of evolution. We are one. So we perceive the same energies in infinite different ways to be our authentic stroke of pigment on the canvas of existence, on the bigger picture of existence. So what I say, what I channel is not exclusive to Ashley-Nicole Phillips. It's my interpretation. It's my offering to creation, the way I interpret or relate with myself in all things. So that's last week's installment. It's really powerful and beautiful. Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips is available to stream on YouTube as well as Spotify for free. So if you just scroll back to the most recent installment, you'll see, I'm not exactly sure yet what I'm going to name the installment yet still. I said last week that I was, but that was more of a divine revelation for myself more than anything. The tentative title. Anyways, last week's installment. So just look, if you look back 5-6 days, you'll see the installment that I'm referring to. I might put I think I'm gonna put Marcus Garvey's name in the title. Yeah, so y'all know which one it is. All right, so today we're channeling George Washington Carver, Harriet Tubman, John Brown, as well as the Pleiadians. Pleiadians are a Nordic. We perceived them in the past as a Nordic star-being race. They gave me a divine revelation that they have many different species, races, pigmented beings in their colonies on their many planets. It's not just Nordic beings, right? And that's why they're like, thank you for Ashley for letting us speak through you, like giving us a voice through you. We're not just fair-skinned, Eurocentric, blonde hair, blue-eyed beings, Pleiadians. But we have insectoids that classify themselves as Pleiadians, that are classified as Pleiadians. We got insectoids. We got Afrocentric beings, dark-skinned beings. We got all types of shapes and all things that classify themselves as Pleiadians. From the Pleiadian star cluster. So Pleiadians. They're like, thank you, Ashley, for giving us a voice. We're not all just fair-skinned, blue-eyed, blonde hair, Eurocentric, tall star beings. So today we are channeling George Washington Carver. We're about to get into it, y'all. We're already 45 minutes in. We've got a lot of goodies and all the things. So I'm not mad. We're not mad. We're not upset. We have our snacks. If you look back last week, we got a little comedy set at the beginning. Calling for the snacks. Whatever resonates in your heart space, baby. If you don't want snacks, don't go get snacks. I'm a snack advocate. But if you don't want snacks, don't go get snacks. I'm not going to press you to go get snacks. That's one thing about a dualistic, multidimensional creation. Baby, everybody has a different opinion, different dimension of reality. And baby, if that don't resonate with you, that don't got to be your truth. If you don't want snacks, don't go get snacks. So let's get into channeling George Washington Carver, Harriet Tubman, John Brown, as well as the Pleiades. We're going to go ahead and sit back and we're going to get into channeling George Washington Carver. We're going to do consecutive. So I'm going to transcendentally channel. So I'm going to sit back and close my eyes. You're more than welcome to close your eyes as well to allow any energies that want to permeate your system to do so. Again, don't replace to uplift your mind, body, soul, spirit into alignment with who you intended to be in your most limitless, abundant, highest timeline potential outcome for the upliftment, regeneration and regeneration of all things as universally aligned, universally assigned. Whatever doesn't resonate with your heart space, please leave it. Do not replace anything you experience or hear within Kingdom Things podcast with your professional medical advice. This is panel style, so I'm going to sit back and close my eyes. I will not open my eyes. We're going to channel all 4 ancestral forces consecutively. Here we go. Thank you, Ashley, for giving me a voice to speak through you. George Washington Carver, present, at attention, to be the wellness and balance that is the attention, the consciousness expansion, the consciousness remembrance that we are star beings, that we are stardust, that we are stars. Definition of stars in a way that cannot fit but beneath the follicles of our skin. The definition of star in which we are quantumly entangled with everything from within to without. Universes, galaxies, planets, moons, stardust, vapor, gases, beings, insects. That walk below our feet are one with we. From the macrocosm to the microcosm, we are existence. Thank you, Ashley. Oh. Okay. I gotta just a comment real quick. Whoa, that's powerful. Powerful. George Washington Carver, I know he was like a Renaissance man because I did some pre-production. So he did art. He did poetry because that was super beautiful and poetic. I didn't know where he was going. I was like, okay, we just climbing with it. We're just incantating. I was like, ooh, that's poetic. I was like, whoa. It's like, dang. He had to write some poetry about it because that was beautiful. Thank you, Ancestral Force, George Washington Carver. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have to give this ancestral power, force, an intro. Madam Harriet Tubman. Madam Harriet Tubman. If we didn't know as a Black community, because I talk about it in a few, last few weeks I've talked about it, and I've been healing it for some time. Being a Black woman, African woman, girl, lady, woman, growing up in the States, in the South. And what I was taught in school about what my Blackness is There's a lot of things that casted shame on my spirit. Just made me angry. But if there's one person that we collectively know that brings us pride as a Black culture, and hopefully that these last couple of weeks or all of Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips, hopefully it brings you pride in the fact, regardless of what your race is, the fact that we are one. And to be blessed with ancestral forces such as herself, Harriet Tubman, that dug deep inside of herself to be courageous, brazen, to protest for evolution, to be the evolution. There was one person that we could collectively be proud of when it comes to when Black History Month rolls around. Or learning about Black history in school. It was always like, yeah, every year, like, yeah, Harriet Tubman. Yeah. And we're only a mirror of each other. We're only a mirror of each other. We all have the power. We all were created to be solution. We are all created to be medicine. I actually channeled in my song Cancer Free. I'm going to link it below. It's basically like the recipe to how God intended reality to work, especially in galactic creation. The song's called Cancer Free. We are created. We are all medicine. We just got to dig inside of ourselves. Have to dig inside of ourselves to activate our medicine or balance our energies or face our traumas, wounds, feelings, emotions. To be our higher vibrational self. To be alchemy, to be our higher vibrational self. Thank you, Harriet Tubman. I'm going to go ahead and sit back and welcome you on in. I want Ashley to take a beat. We don't have to run. I ran for years in the 1800s from folk that perceived a difference between myself and themselves, as these folk kept myself and my ancestors, my brothers, my sisters, my mothers, my fathers, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, in shackles, bondage at the ankles, at the hands, at the feet, at the knees, at the mind, at the heart, as we lived realities that made it hard to be optimistic. We lived realities of pessimism and found cheer and glee and reciting, vocalizing what was placed on our heart, our hands. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, now. Wade in the water. God's gone. Balance the water. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Madam Harriet Tubman, Mrs. Harriet Tubman. I'm having a psychological battle in the way that my dualistic nature, parts of me are wanting to control and condemn how Harriet Tubman, Madam Mrs. Harriet Tubman, used my vessel to share her perspective that she wants to share, the perspective that she wants to share at this moment, because this perspective is not all of her, right? Part of me, my mind, my psychological, wants to condemn this message as pessimistic. And my spirit, my soul, the ancestral forces, galactic forces said, no, Ashley, this is needed. This perspective, these energies, these wisdoms, these understandings for the growth and evolution and healing of human culture, humanity, y'all soul, y'all spirit. We can't just skin and grin and gallop into galactic co-creation without meeting spaces and places within ourselves that are hard to face sometimes. Nonetheless, needed. Thank you, Mrs. Harriet Tubman, Madam Harriet Tubman. This is a great lesson for myself, and I hope for you as well, to let go of control. We never truly know what's needed in every moment, but we can flow, and we can allow our souls or the universal forces or God, Hashem, Shekinah, Allah, the Most High Prime Source, present to us what is needed. Even if our brain doesn't understand, like, this is not what I asked for. This is not what I thought I needed. No, this is what you need. That's why it's here. Observe it. Ask questions about it. Be inquisitive about it. To grow and evolve into more conscious awareness of what this presentation is meant to teach you, or what this product, this manifestation is meant to teach you. And that goes for everything in our realities and everywhere that we show up simultaneously. Everywhere that we show up, it's a part of the makings of us. No longer condemning ourselves, but embracing ourselves, loving ourselves unconditionally, to garner the wisdoms from our evolution or our existence. Thank you, Madam Harriet Tubman. She said, Mrs. Harriet Tubman, Ashley. Thank you, Mrs. Harriet Tubman. Thank you, Ancestral Force. Oh, thank you. I'm going to sit back and we're going to go ahead and channel John Brown now. He was an abolitionist, pioneering Caucasian man, white man within pioneering white American within the abolition movement to end slavery within the states that we call the United States of America. Last week we talked about his perspective and how he healed in the pre-production session. Go ahead and revisit it if you would like to. I'm going to go ahead and invite in John Brown. Thank you for your presence, your perspective, and your wisdoms and your presence and your existence. Your existence. Thank you. You are welcome, dear one, sweet child. Sweet children of planet Earth, sweet child of planet Earth. Yes, Ashley, we are going to change perspectives, dimensions. You are meeting the John Brown that is of celestial remembrance. You are meeting the John Brown that is of celestial qualities. The Arcturian force that you knew as John Brown is the Arcturian force that is healing remedies to bring wellness to the ground. Remembrance to the soul's DNA genome of humanity. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, John Brown. Celestial presence, which is one with every other dimension of John Brown. Thank you. I want to share with y'all the story about when I became enlightened as to, or remembered from the soul space, from the inner space, through channeling King of Things podcast, healing, praying, meditating with myself to uncover the wisdoms to assist with co-creating with the oneness of all things, or the multiverse, or the omniverse, or Hashem, God, Shekinah, the Most High Prime Source, Allah, the oneness of all things. We co-create this podcast. I was digging my inner space and I channeled the first time I got this divine revelation that humans, we are celestial energies. We are omnipotent, limitless potentials. And that our energies come from different star systems is another dimension. Another dimension is our energies are accumulation of many star systems. Our manifestation is an accumulation of many star systems. The first time I got this divine remembrance, I was on my evening walk. I was in a powwow session. I was with the ancestors. I was walking, combing my inner space with the Lubavitcher Rebbe. If you don't know who the Lubavitcher Rebbe was a leading rabbi within the Hasidic Jewish community. A leading rabbi all over the planet. He transcended in 1994. He had home in Brooklyn, New York. He wants to give a shout out to the Hasidic Jews of Brooklyn, New York City. Always, he's like, y'all are in my heart. Y'all will always be in my heart. Every time I channel him, it was like, baby, shout out to Brooklyn, New York City, Brooklyn, Hasidic Jews community. So we were walking, I was coming in my inner space, and he was trying to tell me trying to open my mind, expand my consciousness, divine activation from the heart space. Because whenever you speak to spirit, you're channeling through your heart space, your beingness, your cells, your heart space, and it remembers you or enlightens you. In spirituality, we call it enlightenment or self-realization or satori, spontaneous spiritual awakening. He was like, Ashley, yes, I'm the Lubavitcher Rebbe. He's like, I came from Arcturus. He's like, I'm Arcturian star system energies. I was like, whoa. And that was one of my evening walks. And we shared it in a podcast. I'll link it below. When I channeled the Lubavitcher Rebbe, he wanted me to share that he was an energy from Arcturus. I'll link this installment below. And then I also channeled Nikola Tesla, or the Orion star system energies. Before I channeled Nikola Tesla, I was super excited when I got the download that I was going to be channeling Nikola Tesla. And I just kept on doing some healing until I was guided by the spirit to produce the Kingdom Things podcast meetup installments, channeling Nikola Tesla. I'm going to tell you, I'll share the story. Before I channeled Nikola Tesla, I was sitting in the chair, and in my mind's, I'll link the episode below. In my mind's eye, I could see, it was like a crescent. I was surrounded by star light beams. They were surrounding me, and I just bowed. I said hello. Right before I said hello, just bowed and said hello, and then they dissipated. I couldn't perceive them anymore. And then I started channeling Nikola Tesla, and they were like, "We want to tell you more about who we are." They're like, "We're Orion star system energies. You called us Nikola Tesla." I was like, whoa. Yeah, so that was the first time I got this divine enlightenment, remembrance that we are accumulation of star system energies, galactic energies and forces, sources, all the things. That's another dimension, because we're infinite dimensions. Another dimension of our existence, perception of our manifestation. So I have these 2 installments channeled below in the Kingdom Things podcast. Reference content, the Lubavitcher Rebbe installment, where we speak about this with Lubavitcher Rebbe, as well as good, beautiful channeling, wisdoms, energies, healing energies, and also Nikola Tesla channeling is below as well. Thank you so much, John Brown. I wasn't expecting this. Because I was like, Arcturus, baby. We have a lot of Arcturian energies that incarnate on the planet. A lot, a gang of them. Because the Lubavitcher Rebbe said he's from Arcturus. He's an Arcturian energy as well. John Brown said, baby, Arcturus. Arcturus. I was like, oh, shoot. Let's go. I was kind of afraid I was reading it wrong, and my inner space like, no, actually, this is right, Arcturus. Like you're perceiving correctly, Arcturus, which is really beautiful. We're all things truly. So this is a part of myself that I've met in my inner space, my Arcturian dimensions. It's actually why I'm able to help heal pedophilia. And my soul's been preparing me all my life. I used to watch Law & Order SVU, baby, since I was a kid. I would watch Law & Order SVU. Because, you know, these televisions, all the things, these shows and all the things, they activate remembrance of these situations that are happening in our waking state, in our real life. They'll activate remembrance, either subconscious or conscious. We're tapping into energies where this is happening in our real life. That's why you have to be careful what you consume, because you can manifest these situations in your actual life because you're consuming the TV show that talks about this, and this. And it's activating the energies in your subconscious, conscious mind to manifest in your actual life. I've been preparing to help heal, eradicate pedophilia since I was a kid. Because I would watch Law & Order SVU, like, that was my favorite show for a long time. All the seasons. Baby, I would watch Law & Order. And my spirit was like, Ashley, do you know why you have these remembrances? And the soul was like, your Arcturian energies, baby, it's a piece of cake to heal up pedophilia. It's done. And many other things. So it's really powerful. You know that saying, you never know when you're speaking to an angel? We're all angelic forces. Truly. Truly and honestly. Truly and honestly. Truly and honestly. I'm excited for you. If you deep dive in yourself, you know who you are. I love it. If you don't be afraid to. Follow your inner space. Don't let anybody rush you. And also be conscious when you're running from yourself. And then ask to no longer run from yourself. And to ask for ease and grace to be guided inside of yourself into remembrance of your limitless potentials, of your divine presence, of who you intended to be on a God-Goddess level, of what you intended to contribute to human culture and all things on a God-Goddess level before you incarnated. I'm going to sit back. And we're going to go ahead and channel the Pleiadians, wrapping up this installment, two-part installment of the Kingdom Things Podcast Meetup. I know this message is for me as it is for everyone else. All of these messages are equally for me as they are for everyone else whom comes across them, whom experiences them. And there's dimensions inside myself right now that are like, feel a little beat up. They're like, I live my whole life to grow and evolve into more conscious remembrance. We're one energy. So if our neighbor doesn't, we embody that energy a bit. If somebody else, we embody the energy a bit. So when that non-remembrance is going to resonate with our spirit, like, hey, this message is for you. Alert, 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 alert. Why? Because we're one energy truly, right? And what we were created to be evolution. So let's do so with joy, ease, grace, compassion with ourselves and everyone else. All people, all beings, all things. So I drew this picture, right? So this is, the Pleiadians want me to show this and explain this before they channel. This is the spectrum of wholeness. Let me stop being coy. It's a divine revelation. If you go back, it's all flows with this whole transmission, the first part and the second part. It's a divine revelation. What is this whole transmission about, Ashley? It's about turning our wholeness or our many dimensions on the spectrum of oneness into unity or divine evolution, infinity, the mirror of divine evolution. How we meet ourselves where we're common at the most, the source or the center, the middle. We meet ourselves in the source, the center, the middle, to cycle, always come back to the source, the center, the middle, to turn out the spectrum of oneness or the many dimensions into an ever-vescent, ever-flowing, limitless potential creation in the mirror of the divine. Limitless potentials in harmony, wellness, balance, and flow. The spectrum of wholeness, many dimensions. The mirror, still a mirror of the wholeness. All these many dimensions, spectrum of wholeness, still a mirror of the wholeness. But what happens when we go inside of ourselves as tangible beings? This is how we do it. We go inside of ourselves to meet ourselves, the wholeness within ourselves. What happens? We become beings of continuity. A creation of continuity where we remember and we cycle in and out of remembrance, or we cycle in and out of evolution, not remembrance. We cycle in and out of evolution, or the many dimensions of the self. The many dimensions of the self by meeting ourselves in the middle and cycling movement into cycling the evolution that is our limitless potentials. We're going to go sit back. We're going to go ahead and channel the Pleiadians. And thank you ahead of time, Pleiadians. Thank you, Ashley, for allowing our presence in your transmission. You know we're always excited to be here and speak to you as you have been channeling us for some time. And we would like you to below in the description of this video. Oh, we're podcast hosts. And below in the description... Wow, let me hug hugs. Below in the description of this Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips installment, you will see the Kingdom Things podcast installments where we Pleiadians channeled our wisdoms and energy to assist with you, humanity, as you awaken in the masses to the remembrance that you are divine potentials. Thank you, Ashley. Whoa. Oh, wow. That was really beautiful. I was like, that's all y'all came to say? They were like, yes, truly. This is all we came to do. They're like, this is what we came to do. They're like, because I'll tell you, a couple years, and link below, the Pleiadians teachings, you'll see all of the Kingdom Things podcast installments where the Pleiadians channel their wisdoms and teachings and love and healing energies. A few years ago, at the beginning of my rapid spiritual awakening journey, been on this rapid spiritual awakening journey for 4 years, zealotry, seeking God within, being the remembrance, inquisitive dimension of divine presence to grow and evolve divine presence into more wellness and balance as I grow and evolve my self-love into more wellness and balance, my inquisitive nature about myself into more wellness and balance. Thank you so much, Pleiadians. I was communicating with the Pleiadians telepathically. I do often. I was just sitting in my room communicating with the Pleiadians. I was actually automatic writing, right? And like I asked them, what do y'all do for fun on y'all's planet? They're like, we have fun, but it's not like y'all have fun. It's not like how y'all have fun. We have a different culture because our evolution is different. So the way our culture manifests is different from y'all's. Like media and stuff, it's not like y'all's. They're like, it's not like y'all's. But nonetheless, you know, we have our things. So like, we wanted to come host a podcast. So beautiful. They're like, it's a check off of their limitless evolution list. They said it's a check off of our limitless evolution bucket list. Wow, it's beautiful. It felt so amazing because I could feel them like taking over my body, animating my body, to be like the host of the, whoa, it's powerful to you know, do what they said they wanted to do. But we want to host a podcast. We don't have podcasts in our realm, in our dimension, on our planet. We don't do podcasts, but we want to host a podcast. I love it. That's why I just started laughing. I was like, oh wow, there's just so much joy in my heart space. Whoa, love. This has been a joy. Thank you again, Pleiadians. This has been a joy, a blessing, being able to co-create the whole Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips content catalog. The catalog is timeless, as well as this transmission, part 1 and part 2. Marcus Garvey is in the title of the part 1. And I'll just put part 2 in this transmission so you'll know that it's a continuation of the first installment. All right, we're going to wrap up this installment, y'all. So, y'all, we talked about oneness connection. We're within Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. We're saying our salutations. We're within Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Follow if you're watching on Spotify to join the Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips' journey to a healed and balanced human culture of planet Earth. This is a wish. I just want to stop really quickly. This is a wish fulfillment for my soul, for sure. Because my soul told me this is like my deepest quest, upliftment for all things. Which I channeled this under. How do you know this, Ashley? I channeled it in my music. Ashley-Nicole music is available to stream on YouTube. I'm deep in the spirit. I recently started recording my sessions live. I'll be deep in the spirit. And I'll be deep in the spirit, healing and things. And I channel wisdoms, energies, lyrics, melodies, into the music to help with upliftment. Loving Hearts is where I channel the lyric. Loving heart, keep loving easy. Keep being the best of me. When I forget, please remind me that everything's just a mirror of me. Loving Hearts is available to stream within the album. The Rapture of the album, Ashley-Nicole Music on YouTube. Subscribe. I hope there's energies and melodies, lyrics that bring you happiness, wellness, joy, soul activation of Satori. As universally aligned, universally assigned for the upliftment and regeneration of all things. Do not replace any of your professional medical advice with anything you experience within Kingdom Things podcast or within my music. We talked about oneness connection, energetic upliftment, now available to stream on YouTube. Again, don't replace any of your professional medical advice with anything you experience within oneness connection, energetic upliftment, streaming on YouTube. Powwow sessions, calm the spirit, to heal and uplift dense energies within paradigms of our humanism, to grow and evolve into a galactic species, an omnipotent, divine, angelic species that we were created to be. I'm also a chef, y'all. I enjoy cooking. I love cooking. I hear a request from the ethers to do my French accent. I don't feel like doing it. Not right now, baby. I'm in a different space, different dimension of myself. My French accent doesn't live in this dimension. We're not going to do the French accent right now. But Magic Meals with Ashley-Nicole Phillips is available to stream on YouTube. Been cooking since I was a kid. It's something that I enjoy doing. Whatever the ancestors tell me to put in the pot, the pan, the baking dish, this is what I put to the pot, the pan, the baking dish. We go to the store, we use mystery ingredients. We kiki, we laugh, we joke, we talk, we get divine revelations sometimes. Magic Meals with Ashley-Nicole Phillips is available to stream on YouTube, link below. I am an author, y'all. I authored the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, which is a part of my rapid spiritual awakening journey. My soul, the oneness of all things, at the time was like, hey, Ashley, like 3-4 years ago. It's like, hey, Ashley, you don't remember who you are. We're going to channel these books through you to help us remember who we are, who you are. Channel the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, which is a 3-part book series. The first 2 parts are Asia's story. Asia is a teenage girl growing up in the New York City foster care system. She's catalyzed onto her spiritual awakening journey when she meets her twin flame Chase in the hallway of her school, Manhattan Prep. She goes through a lot of existential crises, which help her align to the remembrance that she is divine potentials, that she's wellness, that she's balance, for her to choose herself, to be unconditionally loving to herself, to embody the reality or the wellness and balance, limitless potentials, to manifest a reality that reflects her wellness, balance, limitless potentials. This is the first 2 parts of the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel. The 3rd part of the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, 3rd and final part, is my other half, y'all. My other half is a twin flame divine counterpart journey back home to God inside. 1 soul, 2 bodies, many lifetimes. They know they're supposed to co-create a love and a life together. Each lifetime says that their love can't work. They will co-create a love and a life together. The book is prophetic. They will remember that their wholeness, the limitless potentials in and of themselves. Unconditional Love Literature Parcel is available in the Amazon bookstore. The links are specified below. If you're doing paperback copies, the first 2 parts, Asia's story, comes in 1 binding. The 3rd part, my other half, comes in a separate binding, $29.98 plus tax. Nonetheless, those 2 links are specified below. If you're doing all digital copies, 3 separate digital downloads, $29.97 plus tax for all 3 stories. I also want to invite y'all to come and take part in Asia's Story, the animated series, which is now streaming for free on YouTube. AP Short Stories on YouTube. Subscribe to join Asia's Story to heal the balanced human culture of planet Earth, y'all. It's my multidimensional experiences. Let me stop hiding. Let me stop hiding behind Asia, okay? It's my multidimensional experiences. I experience things within my multidimensionality and my shamanism and my extrasensory perception that sometimes is really, the podcast and Oneness Connection are super mystical. But these things are super abundant and mystical. And I'm glad I got the intuitive and creative divine guidance to create the animated series, to channel my multidimensional experiences within the animated series. I hope they're so activating, remembering to you and validate you with what you're going through and your remembrance that you are many infinite dimensions, many dimensions. You are conscious awareness that we were intended and created to be consciously aware of more than just our immediate present moment, in order to garner the soul remembrance of the continuity of existence of all things. Asia's Story, the animated series, is again available to stream on AP Short Stories, link below in the description of this video. Lastly, but certainly not least, I want to invite y'all to come take part in Out of the Box. It's my live series that I co-created with the Oneness of All Things, my inner space, right? The Oneness of All Things. I'm nervous, y'all, because I was like, a lot of us have those dreams when we're kids. Oh, I want to act. I want to do this. I want to do that. That was one of my dreams. I was like, I want to do acting. And my soul was like, hey, do you still want to act? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. It's like, okay, follow your inner guidance. Let's make a live series. It literally happened like that. I follow my inner guidance. They manifested Out of the Box. Out of the Box is now streaming Ashley-Nicole music on YouTube. It's a part of my awakening journey. So this manifestation is simultaneous, synonymous with following my inner space, deepening the intimacy with myself for all things. My relationship with myself, Ashley-Nicole Phillips with all things. Out of the Box is now available to stream Ashley-Nicole music on YouTube under the playlist section. I hope you love it, you enjoy it. I also have some skits and stuff that I do over there that they're also divine revelations to help manifest healing and wellness for our humanism. Again, Out of the Box now streaming Ashley-Nicole music on YouTube. All right, y'all. I love you. Love on yourself. Self-love is the best love because you have to love yourself in the way in which you want your reality to love you back. Self-love is the best love because you are loving your true truths. Give that love to yourself first. Self-love is the best love because it helps you perceive, embody, be more of your limitless potentials. I'm going to see you later. Bye.
I thought I had awakened from the crypt.
If you read the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, now available in the Amazon bookstore, you would know that in my dimensional universe of origins, I was incubated for the first 3 to 4 years of my life.
Asia, do you want to eat out for breakfast?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Are you okay?
Hey, my name is Asia, and I am an interdimensional being. I know. I just found out myself. Everything that I thought was my truth was a lie. I chose to continue this life because of the one thing that I know isn't a lie. Love.
You seem a bit shaken. I energetically sensed you were working through some things. I didn't pry too much. I wanted to respect your process.
Possible timeline outcomes. Below divine order. Highest timeline. Every energy I have encountered as a soul. So, not just this lifetime, was part of my process of becoming. I had to acknowledge myself or my process or every energy I have encountered in order to fully embrace my divine presence. And so it is, with ease and grace. My journey of self-realization has been just that, a journey. Is just that, a journey. Now that I am embodying more of the energies of my existential truths, I am being aligned with opportunities that allow me to not only redefine my contributions to the planet by seeding my authentic soul energies into the planet, which contributes to a healthy and balanced human culture. I get to experience a more exuberant reality that reflects my authenticities.
Hello, Asia.
Hello.
Do you know what I am?
You're Melvin the Great.
Yes, you are correct. Can I show you something?
Show me something?
You are magic.
How did we?
Are you ready to see more?
Yeah, you see, I am. Sir Melvin the Great.
I felt so. But you have trepidations?
Yeah. I'm sure in your first, I don't know what you would call it, evolutionary cycle training day of transcending realities in your waking state, you had some trepidation too.
Are you kidding me? I was born a pro. Shall we transcend to another reality? Sounds like the storm is moving closer.
The moon?
Sure, dear Arcia. If you presume this to be the moon it is.
I think I'm understanding. All is the mind. We project and create our reality with our minds. Allowing myself to embody these understandings and experience myself or these understandings in a greater way is the journey.
Precisely. You pick up rather quick for an earthling.
Thank you, Sir Melvin the Great. I have a knowing that this is just the beginning. Meeting and learning from the ancestors, my ancestors, your ancestors, I am being guided to utilize the wisdom I procure to create. I was gifted with soul knowings in regards to what I intended to create on a soul level or God level. Whenever God or creation requires a dimension or aspect in order to evolve and or rejuvenate, the aspect or dimension comes into being or creation, procreation. What am I procreating? A human culture with no death, no disease, no poverty, no famine, no war, world peace. Remember, Asya, you can't do it alone. You don't want to do it alone. As an infinite soul, I have had infinite relationships that subconsciously created dissonance within myself. Dissonance that kept me from realizing internal validation and feelings of worthiness of who I am in my honest truths, in my truest truths. Unconditional love, which made it difficult for me to be unconditionally loving to all things, all people. Let's be grateful. End with a celebratory note. Utilize this wisdom, soul divine alignment, to create harmony and peace instead of war and chaos. And so it is. My name is Asya, and I'm a teenage witch. Just kidding. I am a starseed. My story is much like humanity's story. I awakened to some pretty spectacular things about myself. Coming home, the story of Asya, followed by the story of Asya, I'm Home. The book series that introduces the book. After returning from a day's trip, I have read my Tom's letter. He speaks of my father releasing him from imprisonment and the fate of death. He pleads for us to run away together. This plea is one of which I make no state to decline. My other half, available in the Amazon bookstore. I feel as though I was born here on Earth to find you. I was created to find my person. The Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, now available in the Amazon bookstore. My name is Ashley-Nicole. I am an ageless being. Well, I'm 31, with utilizing the paradigms of space and time as known by third-dimensional humanity to quantify my existence. My consciousness is focused primarily as Ashley-Nicole, human of planet Earth. I awakened within the dream. I am limitless existence,
or energies of the infinite sea, or spirit, having infinite experiences, just in this one moment, and a gander of infinite experiences within this now moment. It appears as if I am putting my wig on in my bathroom mirror, when in another dimension of the self, in just this past moment of infinite existence, I assisted with disarming the pardon collider to allow for the mass awakening of the human consciousness. Grand Rising Earth Dweller. Grand Rising M. And thanks again for your assistance with everything. I requested for a regular guide that I can expect to be available to assist me with settling into remembrance and mission. I'm super appreciative. We've been paired to work with one another.
Remembering into multidimensionality within colonial life is a vibrant experience. I'm glad to help. How's Kingdom Things podcast going? You truly have the ether stirring into universal order, divine alignment.
For the upliftment and rejuvenation of all things. The podcast is great. I mean, I'm finally feeling the heart connection to the podcast. I suppose there's always been.
Surely.
The podcast has been an intuitive mandate that came into fruition with following my heart space and inner guidance. My mind is acclimated and excited about, well, all of this, being awakened within the dream.
We waited, love is on fire. There are you and I. My civilization's at our top of sun.